What do you think of when you hear the name Huawei? A smartphone brand, a telecom company, a Chinese corporation, or a global menace? Huawei is all of these things and more. It is one of the most powerful and controversial companies in the world, with a presence in more than 170 countries and a revenue of over $136 billion in 2020. It is also one of the most hated and feared companies in the world, with a reputation of being a spy, a thief, and a bully. Huawei is at the center of a fierce geopolitical conflict between China and the US, as well as between China and many other countries. The US has accused Huawei of being a national security threat, a violator of sanctions, and a perpetrator of intellectual property theft. The US has also pressured its allies and partners to exclude Huawei from their 5G networks, the next generation of wireless technology that will enable faster and smarter connectivity. Huawei is the world's largest supplier of telecom equipment and the second largest smartphone maker. It has ambitions to dominate the global market for 5G, the next generation of wireless technology that promises faster speeds, lower latency, and more connectivity. But Huawei's rise has also raised alarm bells among governments, intelligence agencies, and security experts who fear that Huawei's products could be used by China for spying, sabotage, and influence operations. But why is Huawei so important and so dangerous? How did it become a global leader in telecom equipment and smartphone manufacturing? What are its ties to the Chinese government and military? What are its ambitions and strategies? And what are the consequences and implications of its actions and presence for the world? In this video, we will explore how Huawei became a brand that governments hate. We will look at the history, the facts, the allegations, and the controversies surrounding Huawei. We will also examine how different countries have reacted to Huawei, from banning it to embracing it. And we will ask, is Huawei really a threat to global security and stability? Or is it a victim of political and economic rivalry? Stay tuned to find out. If you liked it, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more content. Part 1. Huawei's Origins and Rise. Huawei was founded in 1987 by Ren Zhengfei, a former engineer in the People's Liberation Army. The company started as a small vendor of telephone switches and soon expanded into wireless communications and network equipment. Huawei claims to be a private company owned by its employees through a shareholding scheme. However, many analysts doubt the transparency and independence of Huawei's ownership structure. According to a 2019 report by the US-China Economic and Security Review Commission, Huawei's shareholders are not individuals but trade unions that are controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. According to Chinese law, all companies are required to cooperate with the state in matters of national security and intelligence. This means that Huawei could be compelled to share its data or access with Chinese authorities, or even install backdoors in its products that could allow remote surveillance or control. Huawei denies these allegations and says it has never received any request from any government to compromise its products or customers' privacy. However, there is evidence that Huawei has close ties with China's military and intelligence agencies. Huawei's breakthrough came in 1998 when it won a contract to build China's first national wireless network for China Mobile. This gave Huawei a huge advantage over its competitors and established it as a dominant player in China's telecom market. Huawei then began to expand internationally, especially in developing countries where it offered low-cost and customized solutions. Huawei also entered the smartphone market in 2010 and quickly became one of the top smartphone makers in the world. However, there is evidence that Huawei has close ties with China's military and intelligence agencies. For instance, According to a 2011 report by the Indian Express, Huawei admitted that it had provided communication equipment to the Taliban in Afghanistan during the US invasion in 2001. Furthermore, according to a 2019 report by the Wall Street Journal, US officials found that Huawei had built backdoors into its equipment that could be used by China for spying since 2009. Huawei's relationship with China is not only a matter of security but also of strategy. Huawei is seen as a key player in China's ambitious plan to become a global leader in technology and innovation. According to China's Made in China 2025 blueprint, one of the strategic goals is to achieve self-reliance and dominance in key sectors such as information technology, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, aerospace, and advanced manufacturing. Huawei is at the forefront of this plan, especially in the field of 5G, which is expected to revolutionize various industries such as transportation, healthcare, entertainment, and smart cities. Huawei has invested heavily in 5G research and development and has secured more than 90 commercial contracts for 5G networks around the world. It also won many awards and recognition for its innovation and excellence. However, Huawei's rise also raised many questions and suspicions. How did Huawei manage to grow so fast and so big? What was its relationship with the Chinese government and military? What was its role in China's global ambitions? And what were its intentions and motivations? Part 2. The global backlash against Huawei. Huawei's controversies and challenges began in 2003 when it was sued by Cisco for copying its router software. The case was settled out of court, but it tarnished Huawei's reputation as an innovator. In 2008, Huawei was blocked from acquiring an American company called Telecom by the US government due to national security concerns. In 2010, Huawei was accused by Indian authorities of hacking into its telecom network. In 2012, Huawei was investigated by the US Congress for posing a security risk to the US telecom infrastructure. The report concluded that Huawei could not be trusted and recommended that US companies avoid using its products. The US allegations against Huawei were based on three main grounds. First, that Huawei had close ties to the Chinese government and military, which could compel it to share its data or access with them or even install backdoors in its products that could allow remote surveillance or control. Second, that Huawei had violated US sanctions on Iran by selling equipment to Iranian companies through a subsidiary called Skycom. Third, that Huawei had stolen trade secrets from American companies such as T-Mobile. Huawei denied these allegations and said it had never received any request from any government to compromise its products or customers' privacy. Huawei also said it had complied with all applicable laws and regulations in the countries where it operated. Huawei also said it had respected and protected intellectual property rights and had not engaged in any unfair or illegal practices. However, the US was not convinced and continued to escalate its pressure on Huawei. In 2018, the US imposed severe sanctions on Huawei, banning it from accessing American technology and markets. The US also arrested Huawei's chief financial officer Meng Wanzhou in Canada at the request of the US on charges of fraud and sanctions violations. The US also pressured its allies and partners to exclude Huawei from their 5G networks, citing national security risks. The US argued that Huawei's equipment could be used by China to spy on or disrupt critical communications, especially in sensitive sectors such as defense, energy, and finance. The US also warned that it could limit its intelligence sharing and cooperation with countries that use Huawei's 5G technology. The US campaign against Huawei had a significant impact on the company's business and reputation. According to its annual report, Huawei's revenue declined by 16.5% in 2020, the first drop in its history. Its smartphone sales also plummeted by 42% in 2020, losing its position as the world's top smartphone maker to Samsung. Huawei also faced legal challenges and diplomatic disputes in various countries over its alleged misconduct and espionage activities. However, the US campaign against Huawei also faced resistance and criticism from other countries and stakeholders. Some countries argued that they had not found any evidence of Huawei's wrongdoing or backdoors in its products. They also said that they had their own security standards and regulations to ensure the safety and integrity of their 5G networks. Moreover, they pointed out the economic benefits and competitive advantages of using Huawei's 5G technology, which was cheaper and more advanced than its rivals. Some countries also accused the US of using Huawei as a scapegoat for its own decline and as a tool for its trade war with China. They also questioned the US's credibility and consistency, given that the US itself had been exposed for spying on its allies and partners through its own telecom companies such as AT&T and Verizon. Part 3. The future of Huawei. The future of Huawei is uncertain and unpredictable. The company faces many challenges and risks, but also opportunities and possibilities. The company's fate depends largely on the outcome of the ongoing geopolitical conflict and trade war between China and the US. If the tensions escalate or persist, Huawei could face more sanctions, bans, lawsuits, and boycotts from the US and its allies. On the other hand, if the relations improve or stabilize, Huawei could benefit from more opportunities, cooperation, and dialogue with the US and its allies. The company's fate also depends on its ability to adapt and innovate in a highly competitive and dynamic market. Huawei will have to overcome the US sanctions and find alternative sources of technology and markets. Huawei will also have to compete with other global players such as Samsung, Apple, Nokia, Ericsson, Qualcomm, Intel, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, and others who are also vying for a share of the 5G market and beyond. The future of Huawei is not only important for itself, but also for the world. Huawei has also diversified its business portfolio and expanded into new markets and domains. For example, Huawei has launched its own operating system called Harmony OS, which is designed to run on various devices such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, smart TVs, smart watches, and smart cars. Huawei has also developed its own chips and components to reduce its dependence on foreign suppliers. Moreover, Huawei has increased its presence and investment in emerging markets such as Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, where it faces less competition and regulation. As one of the leading players in the global technology industry, Huawei has a significant impact on the development and deployment of 5G technology and its applications. 5G technology is expected to transform various aspects of human life, such as communication, entertainment, education, healthcare, transportation, energy, and agriculture. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. We would love to hear from you. See you next time.